Tonight on DC News Now, the clock ticks on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers clash as the deadline nears to pass a funding bill.
The impacts to DC from this CR will be catastrophic.
The dire consequences the district faces if that bill passes.
Big tickets for drivers who don't stop for school buses here in Fairfax County when the school system is rolling out this new step toward a safer commute for students.
Storms are headed into the DMV. Meteorologist Damon Matson has more on our upcoming DMV First Warn Day.
Celebrating female entrepreneurs.
It gives them an opportunity to connect with each other.
The call to action to invest in women-owned businesses in Maryland.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 6 o'clock on this Friday night. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Developing news right now. Senate Democrats have joined Republicans to stop a government shutdown. Take a live look right now at the Capitol building. And we have 10 Democrats in the procedural vote that cleared the way for the House-passed legislation. We have team coverage for you tonight. DC News Now's Ben Dennis has more on that last-minute ad from Minority Leader Chuck Schumer to fix the D.C. billion-dollar budget.
But first, national correspondent Hannah Brent joining us live tonight from Capitol Hill. Hannah, a lot happening right now. So what is the next step in this political drama?
Chris, Susan, yeah, absolutely a lot happening here. But as you mentioned, this spending bill has now cleared that key procedural hurdle over in the Senate, putting it on track for final passage later tonight. We know that Republicans did deliver a majority of the votes for it, but 10 Democrats are helping it get across the finish line.
It would be bone deep down to the marrow stupid to shut government down. Nobody wins.
The Senate is working to avoid a shutdown with the short-term spending bill to fund the government through September. The bill keeps funding at relatively the same levels as last year, but boosts the Pentagon budget while cutting non-defense spending.
This bill causes real pain for communities across the country.
Democratic lawmakers are critical of the cuts Republicans wrote into the bill, but some Democratic senators want to pass it, saying a shutdown would be worse.
I believe it is the best way to minimize the harm.
Though that choice has caused infighting among Democrats.
I think it is a huge slap in the face, and I think that there is a wide sense of betrayal.
Some say by not standing united against the bill, Democrats are ceding control to Republicans and the Trump administration to continue with their agenda of major government cuts.
It's a license to destroy.
Because of the Senate filibuster, the bill needs Democratic votes to pass. And some argue the party should use that as leverage to force Republicans to negotiate.
When you're in the minority, you only have a few real points where you can use the powers that you have.
But Democrats supporting the bill say with Republicans in the majority, they don't have much of a choice.
What leverage do we have? Democrats keep showing up at every night fight with a casserole.
The Senate is voting on amendments to that spending bill now, but we're expecting them to vote on final passage sometime in the next hour. Live in Washington, I'm Hannah Brandt.
All right, so much happening. Hannah, thank you. And the spending bill certainly has major implications here in D.C. As it stands, the bill would immediately cut $1 billion from D.C.'s current operating budget.
Here's the thing. City leaders say it will likely force them to slash services and staffing to things like school, police, fire departments. But now we do have Senator Chuck Schumer, who has introduced this bill to save the district from these cuts.
Yeah, DC News Now's Ben Dennis joining us live here tonight in studio.
All right, Ben, what does this mean for the district? This is a really dire situation.
Yeah, a lot of DC leaders, community members were biting their fingernails over this one. But Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democrat leader, though in the minority, announcing just more than an hour ago that the Senate will vote on a separate bipartisan bill to address DC's budget, but after senators vote on the federal funding bill to avert a government shutdown. Now, some background here. Under the federal funding bill, known as the continuing resolution, first passed by the House, D.C. had to revert back to its 2024 budget, just like all the federal agencies. However, D.C. is already operating under its 2025 budget, which Congress approved for 6 months. Putting D.C.'s budget within the federal funding bill would have meant an immediate cut of $1 billion to the district and caused huge cuts for public safety, transit, schools, and more. But now D.C. will get a separate vote in the Senate. Take a listen to what Chuck Schumer had to say.
Say that soon The Senate will vote on a bipartisan piece of legislation that will make an important D.C. funding fix. This legislation will make sure that we take care of the residents of the district. It will support law enforcement and firefighters and teachers and city services. The legislation is very good news for the residents of the District of Columbia. I'm happy we're passing the bill today.
Again, the Senate vote on D.C.'s funding bill will come after the Senate votes on the full federal funding bill. But that must go to the House afterward. However, they're in recess, so it's not clear when the House will take up the D.C. bill or if it'll pass at all. Back to you guys.
All right, so much to contend with there, Ben. Thank you so much. Now, the district would have to freeze all employee travel, training, office renovations, and so much more, as well as all new hires and promotions would need approval from the city administrator. But that would not, of course, make up the bulk of the $1 billion, which is where the concern comes in for things like schools, police, and firefighters. In a statement, the city administrator writing that we know the district started the year in a financially strong position as a result of years of being responsible stewards of our taxpayers' dollars. This order builds on those efforts as we focus on supporting our community and growing our economy in the face of economic uncertainty at the local, regional, and national levels.
Meanwhile, President Trump saying the FBI headquarters will stay in D.C. and not move to Maryland. That according to the Washington Post. The president making those comments during a speech at the Justice Department today. He says he will block a move of the headquarters to Prince George's County. Of course, it comes after a decades-long battle between Maryland and Virginia. Still unclear, though, how the president would legally overturn the headquarters decision that was made by the U.S. General Services Administration.
All right, my friends, let's take a live look outside right now at Roslyn, Virginia. And you can see it's a little milky sky out there, but not too bad for a Friday. Meteorologist Damon Matson has a look at the weekend forecast, where we are keeping a close eye on the potential for some strong storms Sunday.
Well, folks, we got to enjoy a little bit of sunshine before the end of the day today. Once again, we saw those clouds breaking up through the afternoon hours, and as we move along into the night, hey, thankfully, we are going to keep a little bit of clear sky around. Certainly still going to be some clouds in the sky, but overall, we will see those temperatures still in the 50s, thanks to the fact that we got that late day sunshine going. And despite the fact that these clouds keep bouncing in and out, we do have quiet conditions out there as we get into the start of your Friday night, so not looking too bad. Now, our quiet stretch of weather, it does come to an end as we head into the upcoming weekend. Thankfully, Saturday is looking relatively quiet, but it's Sunday that we have some concern. The severe outlook is out for Sunday here, and this yellow across the majority of the DMV, that is a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather as that powerful cold front with the strong storm system that's crossing the country sweeps on in, and we do have that possibility of a few thunderstorms. We'll detail out when exactly the impacts will be felt here coming up in just a bit.
In Maryland, an SUV slammed into a barbershop. Just take a look. Police in Montgomery County are now looking into what caused the driver to lose control. There was shattered glass from that crash. It happened, as you can see, they boarded up the area right there at Belpre Road last night. For the people in the area, they say the crash was really startling.
How in the world that happened? That's crazy. I mean, in this neighborhood, that's the craziest I've seen.
The driver of the SUV was not hurt. The barbershop was closed at the time of the crash.
Staying in Maryland, Prince George's County police say a man was killed during a domestic fight inside a home in Fort Washington early this morning. It happened on Denmead Avenue. Now, the man died inside the house. A second man in critical condition in the hospital tonight. Investigators say the men did know each other and there's no threat to the public. A neighbor telling DC News Now this is typically a pretty quiet neighborhood.
Personal experience of my sister was killed in a domestic dispute incident, and it's very difficult on both sides of the families, you know, of whether if it's just loss itself or just loss of your brother having to potentially go to jail and face murder charges.
And you are asked to call Prince George's County Police if you have any information about this case.
Let's take a live look right now at Reagan National Airport. The FAA is now permanently banning helicopters from flying in that same route near DCA, where the Black Hawk and American Airlines plane collided midair back in January. Yeah, that crash killed 67 people. And it's one federal investigator saying had a string of near misses in recent years, showing it pose an intolerable risk. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons has been looking into the new permanent restrictions and has the latest tonight.
Well, this comes after the NTSB recommended this ban after the tragic DC-8 crash and several near misses here in recent years. Now, investigators say there was an alarming number of near misses in the congested skies around Reagan National Airport. They say the near misses and DC-8 crash showed the current setup poses intolerable risk. The closure of the helicopter route near the airport makes permanent the restrictions that were put in place after the January mid-air collision. Now, before the crash, 28 government agencies were authorized to fly helicopters near Reagan National, including military, law enforcement, and emergency medical services. The FAA order will allow a few exceptions for helicopter use, including presidential flights, along with law enforcement and life-saving missions.
I feel a little bit safer, yeah, that they're actually doing something about it and that they're not just coming out saying, oh yeah, close calls, this and that, and then nothing happens for it. So the fact that they're taking action about it makes me feel safer.
Now, the FAA is studying 8 other cities with similar congested and shared airspace, including Los Angeles, New York, and Baltimore, Washington. For now, at Reagan National Airport, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.